I was just at Cub Foods. Strangely, this is the second time I've had it open a statement that way. I was standing in line waiting to pick up some rigatoni and Alfredo sauce, and this woman walks up behind me. Well, not walks, she was actually in a wheelchair, which makes the story even more absurd. She's probably 80 years old. I don't know, really. But she had dark skin and white hair that was more or less this well-kempt afro. It was kind of... I don't know. Anyway, never mind that part. So, this woman is behind me, reaches out and she grabs me by the coat and she tugs on my coat to get me to look at her. I turn to face her and I say, "Good afternoon, how are you doing today?" She smiles and asks me, "Have you heard of Jesus?" "Yes, I have heard of him." She then says, "Are you a Christian?" At that point, just about everybody who was behind me in line leaves. And quite honestly, I kind of think I probably should have too. But I didn't. I sat there and I engaged because I'm a fucking idiot. No, not anymore. There was a time in which Christianity was a good idea for me, but no. Going to school taught me otherwise. She then says, "That's okay, Jesus still loves you even if you don't love him." That's fine. I didn't actually say I don't believe. What I said was I wasn't a Christian. You know, Jesus died for you. Yeah? So I've been told? But do you think that's a unique quality? Do you think there's been nobody else who has suffered fantastic tribulation on the behalf of their artistic, theological, or political endeavors? Just break it down for a minute. You'll find that before Jesus died for our sins, Hercules died for his sins, and Iris died for her sins, and then Siddhartha died for everyone's enlightenment. You can also say, on the same hand, that Pandora, she died for our sins, and she wasn't even a god. She was a mortal man, which is a pretty big part of the Jesus story, I guess, is that he's supposedly not a mortal man, but this being of supreme power. So, I politely try educating this woman in the idea that it's entirely possible that Jesus did not die for our sins and is just another grim fairy tale, which the older I get, the more I realize that's most likely exactly what it is. It's kind of odd to think about the idea that in our country, even if nobody talks about it, Christianity is the faith of the states. Which is really kind of frightening when you think about it. So we offer tax cuts to religious organizations. But in order to be a religious organization, you need to subscribe to a system of faith. And from what I've been told, if that system of faith isn't Catholicism, you might be denied your right to call yourself a church. You'll be labeled a cult instead. So, what makes this Catholic cult better than other cults? Why is it okay to say that you're a Christian, but it's not okay to say that you're a polytheist? I more so say that I'm an educated man, and that's all I can really say. This woman who was standing in line behind me at Cub was horribly offended when I tried saying any of this. And yeah, I just realizing the idea that I basically engaged in a fight with somebody who's triple my age. That makes me feel real good about myself. Good fucking God. So, I guess I'm going to have to cut it here and just say, okay, so Jesus did die for our sins, but that just means that he joined the bandwagon. Go ahead, grab yourself a couple of other books of fairy tales and see who else died for our sins. And ask yourself, what makes any of them any different from any other? Good night.